Thanks for joining me. This is Danny, and welcome back to my Real Tech series. Today we are going to be playing with Tough Expansion. This is a add-on mod to Tough as Nails that allows us to use RF to control our temperature and our drinking needs, our liquid fulfillment needs. And basically what this mod does is it adds 3 items to the game. There is a temperature regulator, which is a block that we place in the world that will regulate player temperatures in the area. And then we also have the portable temperature regulator, which will regulate our own personal temperature no matter where we are, as long as it has RF. And then we have the thirst quencher, which uses water and RF to quench our thirst whenever needed. So we are going to start out by making the temperature regulator and take a look at how that works. Now, in this particular mod pack, the recipes have been altered. Normally, it's quite cheap to get these items. Basically, as soon as you have RF capacity and you have like a few basic resources, you'll be able to do this, and it basically kind of negates a lot of the challenges of Tough as Nails. So in this pack, they've been made a little bit more expensive. So in this pack, this is how we make the temperature regulator. I'll show you the default recipes as well. In this pack, we do need the heating goo from armor underwear, which requires slime and mega blocks. We also need the cooling goo, which requires packed ice. And I don't have a good way to make packed ice at the moment, so I ended up taking a trek to the icy lands of the north and grabbed some packed ice from there. I took my motorboat and I went past Marmaville Village and headed up here. And got myself some packed ice. And then we also need the heating coils and the cooling coils from Tough as Nails and a block of steel in the middle. Now, normally you just need magma shards at the top, ice cubes at the bottom, and then a block of iron in the middle, and then the cooling and heating coils. And that gets us the temperature regulator. So the way this guy works is we place it in the world and we give it RF. When we right click on it, it changes the redstone behavior. And what it's going to do is it's going to regulate the temperature of all players within a 20 block radius. Whenever our temperature is not exactly centered, so if our little circle down here isn't gray, it's going to move us one step up or down toward the gray area every so often. And every time it does that, it's going to use a certain amount of RF. And if you sneak right click this block, it will tell you about its energy usage. So you can see in the chat, it said energy. And it's kind of hard to see with my thing there, but 100 energy per tick per player while adjusting temperature. So it doesn't use any RF at all if it's not adjusting temperature, but as soon as it starts to adjust temperature, it's going to take 100 RF per tick per player within range of the temperature regulator. Now, I'm not even going to bother using this because I'm the only player on the server. I'm the only person who needs cooling and heating, so I'm going to jump right to the portable temperature regulator, which we will be using the temperature regulator in order to craft. But again, in this pack, this is pretty difficult to make. We are going to need more steel, another heating and cooling coil, and a capacitor backpack from Immersive Engineering. Normally, all we need for this is 6 iron, a heating and cooling coil, and then the temperature regulator, so it's normally quite cheap. So I am going to craft all the ingredients I'm going to need for this, and I will meet you back here. All set. So here's everything I needed for my portable energy regulator. All right, now of course we do have to give this guy some RF. So I'm going to put it in my charging station from Immersive Engineering, and while I'm waiting for that to charge up, I'm going to take off my armor underwear, which is keeping me warm at the moment because it is winter right now, which is one of the reasons why I decided to do this project. That, and in the very near future, I do want to go to the nether for an extended trip. While I was still waiting for the temperature regulator to charge, I got all the ingredients we need for the thirst quencher. So normally you need 6 iron, a charcoal filter, a canteen, and a bottle of water. In this pack, we actually need 4 steel, the charcoal filter, a purified water canteen. So our canteen actually has to be filled with purified water, and then 2 large tanks from Immersive Engineering and the capacitor backpack. And that gets us the thirst quencher. Hooray! So the thirst quencher requires 2 things. It requires water and RF. And it does consume the water. Oops. So we can fill it up with 10, I believe it's 10 buckets of water, and it will automatically filter the water because remember we gave it a charcoal filter, so it will be capable of filtering the water. There we go. We're all filled with 16 buckets of water. May as well grab that ice. And then this also needs RF before it will work. And right now you can see I'm kind of cold. And this guy is fully charged. So we're going to take that out and swap it. And now you can see that my temperature is going to start changing. It just went up one whatever. So the nice thing about these is they are baubles. We can put them in any bauble slot. So whichever one you're not using, you just throw it in there. And it will regulate our temperature. And our temperature will always be at normal now. We will never have to worry about getting cold or hot. However, we do have to make sure that this thing stays full of RF, and it does consume RF fairly quickly, especially if we're in extreme conditions. So during the winter, hey, that's not working. But anyway, during the winter, we are going to use RF much more quickly during the middle of summer or when we're in the nether or other very extreme places. Our Quencher is ready. Hooray. It's full of RF, and you will see that our water droplets down here are going to start filling up, and it's going to take some water and some RF from this in order to fill them all up. So we will never have to drink again. Drinking will happen automatically for us. And of course, this too we can put in our bubble slots, any one of them. And that's it. Our temperature is now being regulated, and you might notice that every once in a while I'll get a down arrow in here, which is the cold winter making me cold, and then shortly thereafter I get an arrow going back up, which is my temperature regulator. See, there, it just went down, and now in a second it'll go back up, which is a temperature regulator, normalizing my temperature. So that's how that works. And so now basically we can focus on other aspects of the game without being distracted by temperature and thirst. This mod does add one other feature that you may not notice right away, and that is that it makes it so that when your Tough as Nails thirst is not completely full, that you do not regenerate hearts, similar to how it is with food in vanilla. However, this can be problematic as it does prevent all regen, including regen from potions, golden apples, and such. And it also has a bug where when the game attempts to use saturation to regenerate you, it just consumes all of your saturation without actually regenerating you. And it becomes a bigger problem when you have rough tweaks installed, which prevents automatic regen, because then all of the rough tweaks things no longer work either, and you cannot regen at all unless you have all of your thirst fulfilled. So in this particular pack, that feature is disabled. You can disable it in the configs by setting thirst health fix to false. So if you do have any questions about Tough expansion or anything else for that matter, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And of course, if you did enjoy this, if you learned from it, please don't forget to click the like button and to join me next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.